Each of the last few weeks has delivered really heavy and hard news of violence, of murder, of death. So much so that it becomes overwhelming to keep watching the news or reading the news. We might be fearful or anxious about checking in because we don't want to see the next round of atrocities. It's tempting and sometimes necessary to pull back so that we aren't overwhelmed, so that we aren't overcome. But it can also be dangerous to do that. Dangerous in that when we numb ourselves, when we distance ourselves, when we separate ourselves, we cease to be invested in the real life things that are hurting our siblings, locally and nationally and worldwide. It's important to feel, to just empathize and imagine and maybe break down, to be overcome with tears or maybe even with anger or rage at how awful these things are, because this is not how the world needs to be. It is challenging and heavy. As a pastor, I often work with folks in the hardest times. And I know that we're reluctant to feel. Some things are so overwhelming. People go, I don't want to talk about it because I think the feelings might overwhelm me. There's this sense that if I let it in, it'll be like the floodgates and I will just drown in the emotion of it all. And I know that feeling and I know that fear. I also know that feelings are like a well. There's a bottom to them. We may fall deeper than we want to, but ultimately they can't consume us. It's important to feel what you're feeling in these days. It's also important to talk about what you're feeling these days, not just by text or email, but literally to say, I'm so overwhelmed, or I'm so sad, or I can only imagine the pain and the hurt of these families, or I am so angry because I have been watching these events in the news for what seems like forever, and this shouldn't be the case. Whatever you're feeling, I would encourage you to simply feel it, experience it, let it be what it is for you. And then to maybe do some grounding. If you're unfamiliar, grounding is a practice that helps us center ourselves, become present in the moment. It involves using our senses to be right where we are. So it might mean just sort of planting your feet on the ground and sitting where you are and sort of feeling yourself in that posture. It might mean taking your shoes and socks off to feel the carpet or the hard floors or the cold of the tile, or maybe going outside to wiggle your toes in the grass or the clover, even feeling the dirt under your feet. What does it feel like? Be present in that moment. Grounding might involve getting a little love from your favorite four-legged beast. Grounding might mean taking a deep breath of some of your favorite flowers, looking at the colors and the intricate detail, feeling the delicate petals, simply being present, even with something small and sweet. Grounding might also mean curling up under a favorite fuzzy, soft blanket like I have here, getting a cup of tea or coffee or hot cocoa, enjoying the smell and the flavor, and just being present in the moment. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of options for grounding. But as you do it, think about, what am I seeing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? And just being present. It's a way to heal us from the numbness. It's also a way to center us after we've been overwhelmed by our emotions. Take care, friends.